what are the tools available to me to achieve my financial goals?
Nothing works without a good plan. As the circumstances change, we have to change our planning and our approach. I think what's really, really important for us is that we need to address our goals again and see that how this circumstance has actually impacted those goals and what needs to be adjusted. So we talked about budget in the past, but what about savings? How much do you actually need to dip into your savings at this point in time over the course of the next 6 months? And if you can find a way in which you can actually create a spend budget on what that 6 months looks like for you, then you're able to have a lot more control over what you're going to be spending on, what you're not going to be spending on, and what you can actually keep away unimpacted by this situation. So that's just some high-level thoughts.
Okay, so some simple things, right? My bank account, right? So I've got different bank accounts. So I'm putting like more money aside in the savings account. These are the things that I can do. Visually, I have a mason jar where I just put my 5 ringgit and my 20 ringgit. So it's a visual reminder to save, right? And I'm like, okay, seeing that whenever I've got that in my wallet, okay, I've got to save my 5, I've got to save my 20. So little things like that. And you feel, when you can see visually, it also gives you a sense of hope.
Right.
Worst case, you can always have, nasi lemak with that money.
Okay, so if I need 20s change, I know where to go now. All right. Joachim, what are the tools available for me?
Okay, I'm going to take an entrepreneurial point of view with this, where when the crisis occurred, you can see the reaction of the governments and agencies that are scrambling to, number one, to provide infrastructure for businesses to survive and for individuals to continue their livelihood, right? So one of the key things that you need to do for yourself is educate yourself on what's available out there. There are things that the government has done to support the wage earner, from the curry puff seller up to the entrepreneur who is struggling right now, various different things. So the first thing you want to do is to learn what's available out there for you to leverage upon. The second thing is that due to the mercy and the goodwill of the banking agencies plus the government, they have announced a 6-month moratorium that has significantly reduced a lot of the monthly spend for families within Malaysia, because as you know, Malaysia is one of the countries that have a high household debt. Now, with this moratorium being announced, you've got room to either consolidate your debt, save up and clear debt and reduce your overheads, or use that to actually reach whatever financial goals you may have. Let's say you want to get 3,000 ringgit in savings this year, as long as you model it. So I'm going to take cue from our previous speakers where they recommend having a plan. You have to have a plan. You've got to have a budget. If you do not plan, you plan to fail, right? What's the sentence that they have? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Well, I agree with everyone. You need to have the budget, you need to have the plan, but I do think there's a lot of tools out there for you. So I mentioned, webinars before. There's a ton of things being offered by the government, being offered by banks. We do webinar for wealth, and it just talks about macro trends, right? It's not about you and how you invest. It's just to educate you on kind of what's happening in the global world right now and what trends we may see coming. So just try to educate yourself. There's a lot of free tools online. Set up your own bank at home, right? Everything we're doing digitally and remotely right now. We have guidance online about how to set up your own bank at home, and everything you need to do, you can do virtually, which is great. And make sure you look at your point in time and do your own kind of financial health check. We have tools online, and many banks do this, where you can do a financial health check and talk to your relationship manager. Right now we're talking to all our customers about their financial status, on Zoom actually, and we're using things like Live Connect to send documents encrypted and send you a one-time password. So you can still have these conversations. You can still talk about the goals that you want in life. They may change a little bit now, but we're still talking to people about getting married and having children and what that means on their finances. So that's a really good sign. So I think, with the education, with setting up the right tools and doing stuff digitally, this is all key. And, and I'll stress again, bringing the children into the conversation, because some of the tools we offer for that, we have Premier Junior, and I think teaching the kids to save and using tools that will help them save during this time as well, so they're learning as you're learning, right? They see you do it, and they're doing it at the same way. Leverage some of those apps that are out there that have the kids save, and they can see their money going into a piggy bank. Frida, I love the mason jar thing. We did a financial literacy program with kids, and we set up 3 mason jars, right? One was short term, one was really long term, and one was just to spend now if they had it. And that's how they're learning, and my kids are doing it, and I'm a visual person, so I think that's great.
Tara, you mentioned web tools. Those are cool things. I think one of the things that we have to, I guess, feel a little bit privileged or a bit lucky is that we didn't have this health situation occur kind of a decade ago or 2 decades ago, right? Where I'm in fintech, so we've seen over the last 10 years tremendous development of financial services onto digital platforms, right? So if this happened maybe 15, 20 years ago, we wouldn't have been able to do anything with the plan that we've made, right? Like if we've made a plan and said, we need to save, we need to spend, we need to borrow. Okay, but I still need to get out of the house and actually get this done. But I think, with the development of financial technologies and getting banking, investment houses, insurance companies onto the web has been tremendous in helping us not just have a plan, but start executing it. So here's an example. If you realize, hey, look, I need to start saving, I need XYZ account. Previously, I had to walk down to a bank branch to get it done. Now, I can just log in, a few taps of a button, I get it done. Similar with, getting your health insurance policy sorted. Similar with, getting a new investment account sorted. You can do it online now. I think, the rapid progress has made it in a way easier for us to transition into hey, like I need to change my financial lifestyle. How do I do it? I can do it right from my computer here. So I think that's been a great development.
Everybody pretty much sums up that we need to track where our money goes. So I think it's the same with me as well. Just I'm slightly bit more traditional in this. I know there's a lot of apps out there who can actually track every expenditure, household expenditure, even for normal user individuals. But for me personally, I'm a big fan of using Excel. I don't know, because I feel that that's the easiest plus minus kind of thing. So I think that for me, to keep track of cash flows, understanding what are the month-to-month costs or overhead. I do understand that at this time there are people who might get salary cut or even more than that. So I think if you actually know what will be happening in the future, so you can actually gauge how much you can spend at that particular month, you have more time to plan out if you are looking for more income. And at the same time, I think that besides tracking your money, it's also good to track your time. At this time where we're working from home, are we really putting our time in good use? The first week of working from home, I spend a lot of time on Instagram. I noticed that because every week you get that iPhone status, how much time you spend online. It was a lot. So I mean, be honest. But I think that this is the time for us to actually have a self-check. How much time do we have, and how much time we are actually wasting? So maybe those are the things you can do to use your time wisely. And maybe there are many other ways. There are many new ways right now for us to maybe find an extra income, even a bit.
We can,
we do.